All right, we're back here on the Saturday morning show, Dickson County Radio, and today is a beautiful Saturday morning. Temperature around 45, 50 degrees, so it's going to be a beautiful day. It is Saturday, March the 14th, and so March is just moving right along, man. It's about halfway over already, and we're getting further and further into spring, and that, of course, brings with us some bad weather. So I will go ahead and mention I did get a notification from the city of Dickson that said that there would be some bad weather on Sunday afternoon. So just be aware of that as we move into the weekend. But we're excited that you've joined us this morning here on the Saturday morning show. And sort of the theme of the show this year is we are trying to get as many candidates as we can on for local office here in Dickson County. And we have been blessed to have so many different candidates agree to come on. We've had state representative candidates, we've had county commission candidates, we've had county mayor candidates, and today we're going to move right along, and we've got another great candidate here with us this morning. County commission candidate for District 4, Mr. Joey Wenck, is with me this morning. First off, I just want to say to you, good morning, Joey. How you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
You know, me and you, we've known each other for a long time.
Quite a while.
And I appreciate you coming in this morning and doing the show with me. It's kind of like a blast from the past when you see somebody that you've really known, you know, since we were kids. And so I appreciate you doing this. Of course, you're running for County Commission District 4, and we want to get into that this morning. I want to ask you, you know, why you decided to do this and some of the key points of your campaign. But usually the best way to start the show here is to sort of get into the letting people know a little bit about you. You know, there are going to be some people that are listening who they know you. They've known you like me for most of your life. But there are other people who are maybe new to the area, or maybe they just have never run into you for whatever reason. And so probably a good idea here just to start right off the top with just kind of letting people know a little bit about you, your background experience, maybe where you work, things like that. So I'll just go ahead and open the floor to you. Mr. Joey Wenck, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Justin. Born and raised here in Dickson. Both my parents were public servants. My dad's retired from the military. My mom's retired nurse. Spent most of my life hanging out at the nursing homes, helping her on the weekends, and just building that servant's desire. I took that on through high school, got out of high school, got into law enforcement, worked here in Dickson County for just shy of 10 years between the sheriff's office and the local police departments. And then after my third child was born, my boss made me an offer to come manage volunteer pools. So that's where I've been full-time ever since. Started with him in 2005 doing part-time and summer seasonal work, and been running his business now for him for about 10 years, give or take. And yeah, so that's kind of where I come from, just what I've done so far.
A lot of people know you through volunteer pools. I know when I mentioned I was running to a couple people this week, and they'd say, you know, hey, Justin, who you got on the show? And I said, I got Joey. He goes, volunteer pools? I go, yep, that's Joey. So I do think a lot of people know you from there.
Absolutely. I treat that place like it's mine, and it becomes comical to me because there are times that people think I own the company, and that Forrest, the owner, is an employee of mine. And so we've had those jokes back and forth a time or two, but I just, you know, I take pride in what I'm doing and treat it like it's important and it's mine, and how would I take care of my own business.
And, you know, I mean, while we're talking about it here, tell me a little bit about, you know, the pool industry. You know, volunteer pool's been here for a long time. It's sort of the staple, and you guys do a lot of different things, don't you?
We do everything from construction to retail, service, maintenance, almost anything for a swimming pool, in ground or above ground. There's some things that we don't do. We don't get into the plaster pools. That's just a whole nother animal. So we try to perfect what we do with vinyl liner pools and fiberglass shells and hot tubs.
So with the weather sort of changing here and warming up on us, I guess you guys are going to be pretty busy.
Yeah, it's starting to show to be a pretty good year. March is starting out really strong. We've had quite a bit of openings already, so pools are hitting the ground right now. Contracts are coming in. We're getting filled up on both sides, so starting off to be a blessed year.
So tell me a little bit about District 4. I've noticed that people have said, hey, Justin, when you get these candidates on and talk to them, especially with the county commission candidates, maybe ask them a little bit about where that is in Dixon County, the geography. So I hate to put you on the spot here. I know we don't, probably have the name of every street and all of that, but could you give us a general idea of where District 4 is in Dixon County for people who are listening? They're trying to figure out if that would be their district or not.
Absolutely. So District 4 is going to be on the northern part of the county. Going to be east of Highway 48 north of Charlotte. St. Paul Road is the cutoff there at the base of the line. So everybody that lives north on St. Paul is in my district. Everybody that lives on the south side of the road is not. Shoots all the way across Highway 49 east, goes straight over to Petty Road, and then follows Petty Road kind of back and serpentines up and down through there. Some parts of Petty Road are in the district, some are not. It actually completely divides with the state rep district. So the west side of Highway 49 is state rep district 69. The east side is state rep district 78. And then goes all the way back up towards, Petway, back up towards Highway 49 into Ashland City.
49 into Ashland City, yeah. So the Ridge, I guess, would be up there.
It's all of the Ridge, Promised Land Road, Greenwood Road, Rock Springs, all the way back to the river on that side.
Pretty big area, actually.
It's a large square footage area.
Well, in some of the districts, for people who are listening who are not familiar, we're divided into 12 districts, but they're not all the same size, I guess you could say. It kind of depends on the population.
Exactly. They try to keep it. When I was getting my documents and everything from the commission's office, every so many years they do a kind of a census, if you will, and they try to keep all the districts with the same number as close as possible with registered voters.
Yeah, and so there's 12, and so that does give a little bit of confusion, but I think from your explanation, people can kind of figure out where that is, and it is one of the bigger districts. So, and you've been living out there for a little while, and so Dixon County has been your home for a long time, and I guess done a lot of different things as you mentioned, but been here for a long time, and I guess Dixon County is a special place, isn't it?
It is. I mean, this is where my family's roots are on my mom's side. We did live out of Tennessee for a short stint with my dad being in the military, but from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, I was in Dixon schools, and it's just where my hills are going to stay. My roots are growing. I've got 3 kids that I'm raising in this community. Married my high school sweetheart. We were together since 9th grade with a little bit of that high school drama, the on and off thing. But, we figured out how to make it work. Got 3 beautiful kids that, they're growing up in this community in their great-grandfather's house.
That's cool.
So, there's a lot of history there just in the family. My wife, her family's been in Dixon for as long as she was born. So both of us have a lot of strong roots and strong ties to no desire to look anywhere else but where we were planted and grew from.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you joining me this morning. And if you're tuning in just a little bit late, I've got County Commission candidate for District 4, Joey Wenck, here with us this morning. And we want to get into a little bit more about, why you decided to run and the key points of your campaign. But I want to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back and we'll get into all of that. Again, we've got Joey Wenck with us here this morning, County Commission candidate for District 4. You're listening to The Morning Show. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back here on Dixon County Radio. All right, we're back here on Dixon County Radio. You're listening to the Saturday Morning Show, and we appreciate you getting up listening to us. We start this show every Saturday morning at 10 a.m., and what we've been trying to do this year is get as many candidates for local political office as we can here to come on the show and give them a chance to talk to you directly. And we've had over a dozen candidates so far. We've got Mr. Joey Wenck in here with us this morning. He's running for County Commission for District 4, which is the northeast part of the county, and we appreciate Joey coming in with us this morning. We're live from downtown Dixon. And Joey, we talked in that last segment about some of the key points of your campaign, why you decided to run. Is there anything that we didn't hit on in that segment that you want to mention?
The biggest thing is respect. I respect anybody that's willing to take this step up. There's I believe it's 33 individuals running for a county office right now.
Wow.
Between commissioners and school board and county mayor race. That's a lot of people, and it's humbling to see that there's that many people in Dixon that care enough to. I mean, because it's a sacrifice. You're going to have to take time away from family. You're going to have to take time away from all aspects of your personal life to give back to the community, to make sure that our community stays one of the strongest and most thriving in this region. Yeah. So that respect is huge. Just my lifelong connection is one of the biggest reasons why I really want to pull through this campaign. And show love and care and compassion to our community to help it stay as a thriving, beautiful area to live.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that about respect, because I have the utmost respect for anybody who runs for office. It's hard. I've done it before, and in a lot of ways, you're sort of putting yourself out there and asking people to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's almost like it's unlike anything that I've ever done. It's really putting yourself out there to the public, and not just yourself, but your family to a certain extent too, because you're going to have opponents, and then people are going to get upset, because they're liking the other person, and it can sometimes get ugly. But I think here in Dixon County, we've done a pretty good job of keeping things pretty civil.
Absolutely, I've spoke with everybody that's in District 4 running, as well as almost every mayor candidate and some other commissioner candidates. And I've really loved the fact that there's that mutual respect. Like, most everybody I've seen so far is trying to run a clean campaign and just put it out there why they are the best for that seat, in their opinion.
Yeah.
Because I really believe that each and every one of us that are running, we wouldn't be running if we didn't think that we could do a good job. I hope and pray that nobody's running for any other reason. I've sat down with the gentleman that's running against me. They're both great guys, but I'm a little younger. I can bring a little bit of that new age to the table, and I think that I can do an excellent job serving our District 4.
Well, and you've been out there quite a bit. I know you've had an event where I had the chance to come to it and got to see you, and it was out there in the district. And so you're trying to do small events and right there locally, and trying to bring people to come talk to you. And I'm sure you've been, probably to some doors at this point. What's the vibe you're getting from the folks, in the northeast part of the county? What are they saying to you when you're running into them?
I've had an array. With the way the country and things are going politically right now, I've had anything from just people asking if I'm conservative to people asking why they should vote for me. And the fact that they're willing to talk and be involved is huge. It's a blessing. Obviously, there are some doors you go knock on and people just don't want to talk to you, whether they feel like you're soliciting some sort of item of sale or whatever the case is. There's doors that just aren't going to be opened, but majority than that, the ones I've been to have opened their door and at least gave me a moment to talk to them about who I am, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and what I think I can bring to the table for this county commission. And then the obvious question, I just try to make sure I ask everybody if they're going to be willing to vote for me.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's something that you'll continue to do, and let us know whenever you have any events, and we'll try to put that word out there for you. Let's talk about the timeline of the election here as we're getting closer to the end. It's coming up, right? We've got not very long. It's a little bit different this year. So as years past, we've always had gone straight to the August, elections. This year, though, we're doing a May primary, which is kind of throwing a monkey wrench into it for some folks who are having a hard time getting that into their head. Some folks like me, been around for a while, and we just sort of get used to the way things are. And I think for a long time we haven't had that primary. So I'm trying to hammer that into people's heads that, we've got an election coming up here in May, and then August, and then I guess again in November. So sort of a 3-part thing here, right? Do you have the dates pulled up? It looks like you've got them pulled up there.
I'm trying to get it pulled up here. The primary election date is going to be May 5th.
Right, yeah.
With early voting prior to that. Let's see here.
I know early voting starts sometime in April. Forgive me, folks. I don't have the number right here in front of me. But Kenny mentioned it last week. We went over them together when he was on the show.
Right.
Kenneth McAllister was here with us last week, and for a couple weeks in April, there is early voting that leads up to the May 5th election. And I'm able to remember it's May 5th because, it's Cinco de Mayo. It just kind of sticks out in my mind.
It does stick out, yeah.
But it's usually for a couple weeks there prior, right? So I would advise everybody that if you're not registered to vote at this point and you are interested in voting in all 3 elections this year, that you better get on that because it's the date is coming up pretty quick.
Early voting starts April 15th according to the commission calendar.
Okay. Thank you for looking that up for us. So that's coming up pretty soon.
That is coming up pretty soon.
Was that a month away, basically?
It's a month away. It is something new and different, so it's been hard to explain that to people. They're not used to it.
Yeah.
So now this year you're going to have the May election, and I hope that we have a huge turnout. I hope as many people get out and vote for that. It's going to be an important one. But then also following up with that August election.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be sort of a 2-part thing, and then for some of the other offices, I think we'll even follow it back up in November. I won't confuse everybody, but our county commissioners who are running as Republican will be on the May primary ballot. Now, there were no Democrats. My understanding is that the Democrat Party didn't call a primary. So there won't be. That'll be the reason why there's only going to be Republicans running. It's not because there aren't any. It's just because their party decided not to. The Republican Party decided to. So Republicans will be on the primary ballot, and then all of the independents and the winners from the Republican primary move on to the August ballot. Am I explaining that correctly?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's sort of the way that's going to work, and then of course there'll be a follow up after that for some other offices that are more state level, I believe. But here locally, all eyes are on the May election, May 5th, and then early voting is just 30 days away. Wow.
Yep,
so the
April
first
17th.
votes will be cast about 30 days from now. That's got to be sort of exciting from your point of view.
It is. It's exciting just to see it happening. All the wheels are going in motion.
And I'm sure you'll continue to keep putting the word out about your campaign. And, I'm sure there are some folks listening this morning that might want to follow up with you. I always get at least one inbox message every week on Facebook where somebody says, I wish you would have asked them this, or I wish you would have asked them that. And I always say, I can't ever predict, what you guys are wanting me to ask. So I try to ask some general questions and give them the chance to put it out there. And then, of course, candidates are real good about wanting you to contact them. I mean, that's the whole deal, right? You're trying to put the word out there. You're trying to get them to contact you. So do you have any contact information there for the people who want to follow up?
Yeah, so I do have a Facebook page, Joey Wenck for County Commission District 4. And then I also have my personal Facebook page. I've got an email, and I'll probably follow up when you post this on Facebook and type my email because it is kind of long. It's joey.wenck@yahoo.com.
Okay.
And then also, I'll be transparent. I'll put my cell phone out there at 615-557-6964. I do get a lot of calls. It seems like for some reason here lately I hadn't had as many spam calls, but but I do get a lot of calls running a business. So if I don't answer, please leave me a voicemail or text message. Text is the best way to communicate with me because I can always see that.
And will you spell out your name? Because I know your last name, I know how to spell it, but for people listening, when they say Wenck, they think it's spelled a different way.
So it's spelled Wenck.
I think that's key for people being able to look it up who maybe have never seen it
Thank
spelled.
you for bringing that up. I get complacent with that because I'm so used to it.
Yeah. Well, it's something I'm kind of used to, too, because I've known you for so long. But when I'm thinking about it here, and this is an audio interview, I just want to make sure we put that out there. So, yes, Joey Wenck for County Commission Candidate District 4. And, Joey, I appreciate you coming in, man. Is there anything you want to tell the people before we close out here?
Man, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to be on here. I really appreciate that, and I just want to ask everybody that looking at my experience, my background running business and also working in law enforcement and public service. My wife has been a teacher for over 10 years now, so public service is just what we do. So I would just like to ask everybody to take the time to consider, get to know me, and please vote for me.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you for coming in. I enjoy doing this show. It's really a hobby of mine. It's, these days with kids the age that they are, I don't have as much time to do it, but I do love doing the Saturday morning show. That seems to be sort of my time when I can get away and do this, and I appreciate it. And I really think it's important to get this information from the candidates out to the people. And, I can provide the platform, but if you guys don't agree to come on and are not willing to do this, it doesn't happen. So I just want to thank you for being willing to do it, and we'll try to get you back back on again at some point as we get a little bit further down the line.
Absolutely.
And try to help you get the word out there about the campaign, because that's really what this show is all about, at least this year. In years past, we've had on people that are business owners and other type of things, but I think with it being 2026, and like you mentioned, I think 30 some odd people that are running, and I just want to try to help them and have so much respect for them. Just want to give them that platform. So thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, I want everybody to stay tuned to the radio station the rest of the day. We've got some great music coming on for you, but I can say who's going to be on the show next week, because we talked last night and we locked it in, and we've been going back and forth for a couple of weeks trying to find the right date. But next week, Saturday, March the 21st, I'm going to have Ben Shepherd on. So Ben's around our generation, so we grew up with Ben, and I think a lot of people are wanting to hear his vision for his campaign for Dickson County Mayor. I think he might be the youngest one running for mayor.
I believe he is, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say. And this is the first time I've said this out loud to anybody other than me and Ben. But he'll be on the show next week, and we're excited about that. And then talk to a couple others about coming on after that. If you want to be on the show, please reach out to me. We've got the email address, DixonCountyRadio@gmail.com. Get on our Facebook page and send us a message on there. We'd love to have you on if you're running for office. I talked to a few of the new candidates for District 78, and we've got one more candidate for mayor and several more county commission candidates. So anybody who's running for local office, if you'd like to come on, please reach out to us. We'll try to reach out to you, and between the two, maybe we can work it out and get you on. So thanks to everybody for listening. We'll be back again with a new episode next week. Keep it tuned to Dickson County Radio the rest of the day, and have a great day, Dickson. All right, we're back here on Dickson County Radio, and on a beautiful Saturday morning here in downtown Dickson. We're coming to you live from the Redbird Realty Studios here right off of College Street, not far from Main Street here in downtown Dickson. And I've got Joey Wenck with me here this morning. He is a county commission candidate for District 4, which is, I guess, the northeast part of the county as you're getting down Highway 49 to Ashland City over to the river, that sort of area. We talked about that a little bit in the first segment. Wanted to give you an idea of where that district is. But Joey, I want to, in the second segment, go ahead and ask you a little bit about the campaign, some more specifics. And I usually like to start this segment off by asking you just that basic question, why did you want to run for this particular office? For a lot of people, it's a decision that they've thought about for a long time. For other people, it's particular thing that happens and causes them to be more political. But I'll pose that question to you at this point. Why did you decide to run for county commission?
Well, the biggest reason is it was an open seat. So you always wonder who is going to fill that seat. I decided that I wanted to run. I spent some time discussing it with my wife, making sure that was the right decision at this point in our life for our family, because it is going to be a commitment serving out on the commission. The biggest reason that I decided is it's not for a title, but I mean, this community, this county has gave so much to me and my family, and it's just time to give back. I've always had that heart to serve. I want to be able to get out and know the constituents in my district better. I want to be able to serve them and be their voice. I'm not that stereotypical politician. I've never been in politics. It's just coming from my family roots. Dickson's going through some growth, and I want to make sure that we're able to stay on the right track, keep our county finances in the right direction, and make sure there's no wasteful spending in our district, and be the voice for those people. I do plan to create a couple different forms of communication. I want to be open and transparent. So all the constituents that I can get their support, or even the ones that don't support me, if I win the race, I want to make sure I have a form of communication with them. I'm going to have a text group and an email group that every time we have a meeting, a work session, anything, I'm going to put the cliff notes and the information out there, and I'm going to send it out. That way they know what's going on, and if they've got concerns or questions, they can bring it to me, and I can be that voice for them in the meetings.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate that transparency. And, with all the different modes of communication that we have now to communicate with each other, I think that's an awesome thing to sort of bring to the table. Let me ask you a few things about your campaign. So, you decided to run, and I'm sure that you look back and see what other people have done in the past, and you see where we're heading. You mentioned growth. You kind of see what the issues are on the county commission. What have you decided to make sort of the key points of your campaign? Is it growth? That's one that comes up quite a bit. I think you can't really deny that that's happening. You just go out here and look. I mean, everywhere
Absolutely.
you turn, and that seems to be sort of the biggest one. But I'll pose it to you. What is some of the bigger points of your campaign?
The biggest points that I want to focus on is making sure that we're protecting taxpayer dollars. Make sure that our expenses are being used wisely. We're being good stewards of the money, and try our best to be that voice and that mindset of protecting the county as it does grow, and make sure that the growth is happening and we're being responsible about it. With growth, there's always going to pose issues with roads, infrastructure, and how can we aid in fixing those issues or improving them. Schools, our kids are important to us. So whether it's my kids or somebody else's kids, that's their education, that's their early upbringing and footprints. So I want to make sure that we can help work together with the school board and make sure that our kids are getting the best education and help them the best that we can. And then obviously back to my roots as first responders, make sure that we're doing our due diligence to keep those guys healthy and safe, and those gals. So those are the key points that I want to try to put my focus into. Obviously, I've learned enough through this campaign. I can't make any promises. I can just be the voice for my people. And, I live in a very rural area, and growth and development can be scary when you're looking at all this farmland and people. You got outsiders buying up farmland. Obviously, if they come in and they buy the land and it's for sale, then it ties our hands to an extent. So, make sure that if there's going to be rezoning, the people have a voice on what's that's going to look like.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. It is a very rural area where you live in, and there's been a lot of construction in that area, and I do, hear a lot about that. The people are bringing that up, and you think back to what Dixon looked like when you and I were kids, and then you look out there today, and it is quite a bit different. But there's only so much that one person can do, right?
Absolutely.
And you're just one of 12 who also has to work with the mayor. And so maybe we can talk about that for just a second. But, you're the voice of that particular district, but you also kind of have to work with the others, don't you?
Absolutely. And I love the fact that there is 12 commissioners plus a mayor. So that way there's going to be an odd number. So you can't have a hung voting session. We're all going to be a different mindset, even if we're all on the same conservative side. We're all going to think and see things from a different perspective, and that's where that's going to help our county continue growing in the safe direction that we've been, is because everybody can bring different opinions, and then that gives us stuff to discuss and key points to bounce off each other. But it's going to be crucial that we all get along and work together.
Yeah, because like you said, there's 12 different ones, but everybody has to come together, and then you also are working with the school board who comes to you and wants to spend money. That's been a big thing here lately, because the county commission sort of controls, the money and the spending, but have to work with the school board. So within our local county government here, there is a lot of checks and balances, and a lot of groups have to work together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, well, let's go ahead and take our second break here, and we'll come back. I want to talk to you in this final segment a little bit about ways that folks can get in contact with you, and we'll talk about any other issues that we haven't hit on yet. If you're tuning in a little bit late with us this morning, we're talking to Joey Wenck, who is a county commission candidate for District number 4. Is that right?
District 4.
Yes,
yeah.
I have the number here on my phone, but it went to sleep. So District number 4, which is the northeast part of the county. And so if you're listening to us this morning, we appreciate it. We are on Live 365. Dixon County Radio streams on the Live 365 app 24/7. So if you don't have the app downloaded, That's the best way to listen to it as far as people tell me. We also have a website, DixonCountyRadio.com. You can always find our radio station live 24 hours a day there. And Facebook seems to be the biggest way, Joey, that people hear us. And so we've got the show, the links on Facebook, and you can always find us there as well. And we'll come back in just a moment here, and Joey will tell us how we can get a hold of him. You're listening to the Saturday Morning Show right here on Dixon